evening and welcome to the View from Down Here show. My name is Dan Hollingsworth. I'm with Pint Video Productions and I will be your host tonight. Tonight we have a great guest. Our guest tonight is a world-class entertainer, musician. He is pretty much a legend on the dueling piano circuit. He's performed all over the world, entertaining countless audiences with his brand of piano entertainment. My guest tonight is Greg Asadoorian. Greg, thanks for being on the show
Good to
tonight.
see you, buddy.
Full disclosure, Greg is one of my college classmates from UMass Lowell. Also, we were fraternity brothers in Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity, and where we killed plenty of brain cells during that time. But hopefully, we've kind of grown up and we're much more adult now. So,
That turned out to be a training ground for what I do for a living now, so it was great.
so Greg, let's talk about what you're doing now in the world of entertainment and music.
Well, I'm involved mostly in the piano bar world and in a couple different genres, but classified mostly as the sing along aspect. And I'll do primarily dueling pianos, and that's performing with one to two different other performers a night. Might be another piano player, another drum, and a drummer, and sometimes other instruments as well. Um, and we do all kinds of styles, going from oldies up to pop music of today and everything in between. And yeah, the dueling pianos have taken me quite a tour around the world, and also doing solo stuff as well, and that's mostly in the Caribbean these days.
So, Greg, how did you start in this business?
When I graduated from college, and again, we won't say the year, I had a regular day job coming out of school and was trying to sell Steinway pianos in central Massachusetts. And as you can imagine, that's not the easiest thing to sell. And I went on a cruise with my family and met someone who was performing at a piano bar there. And he, up until that point, I'd always assumed piano bars were going to be jazz musicians doing, Great American Songbook and just kind of lounge lizard jazz tunes and show tunes and that kind of genre. I didn't know that you were going to have the rock and roll, really sing along party aspect of it. And so when I stumbled into that, I was like, well, what is this? And met the guy, and he let me sit in a couple nights. And before I know it, he had me in touch with his boss in Miami, and I was on a ship probably 3 to 4 months after that. So yeah, so I ended up working on a cruise ship for I did 5 years straight working a solo piano bar without really much experience doing that type of show by myself, and it would just get thrown in the fire and see what happens. And it was an unbelievable, great way to learn how to do this. Just trial by fire, go do it.
So, Greg, talk about performing on the cruise ship. Is it like being on vacation and just having to work a little bit at night, or how does that work?
Well, things have actually changed because I'll still do it occasionally, but from when I was doing it, 20 years ago, I started. It was a much different ballgame than it is today. They were a lot looser with the regulations, but it's definitely not the same experience as passengers would have. Um, but you go into your routines. It's just like any other job. You have your daily schedule, your weekly schedule, and you know what you have to get done, and you have to keep things at a certain standard. Everything is done by numbers, and for us, we were rated by how are the drink sales in your lounge, how are your comment cards at the end of the week, are people giving you good reviews, and if those things are both in the positive, you're doing a great job. So if they can tell by how many drinks they're selling of how good of a job you're doing. But it's funny, you do take things for granted working on a ship in that environment. I remember there were days where I didn't want to go to Grand Cayman because it involved a 10-minute tender boat ride, and I just wanted to stay in my cabin and watch Judge Judy in the afternoon. It's like I didn't want to deal with the hassle of getting on and off the ship. So it's like you really take a lot of things for granted, and when you live where people vacation, it puts it a different mindset.
So, one of the things I wanted to get on the show tonight was um, the ability to show Greg performing. We were hoping to try and get a piano set up, but just couldn't get it done. So what I was able to do was to put together a little montage of clips of Greg performing, so you can actually see what it looks like and the
Excellent.
energy and the music. So we're gonna run that now.
I got friends in low places. Stars in St. well, they're sharing a drink called loneliness. But it's better we're all wasted.
But not tonight because we don't have a liquor license.
We'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. How is it just to my soul? Reminiscing about days of with old
That was a great clip, Greg. So one of the things you really could tell in the audience, just the energy and how people were just reacting to the music and the performance. How do you get that?
It's a lot of it is just set the expectation of the night up front. You know, come out first song of the night, really hit them with something fun, something that they're going to know the words to and be able to join in, and then let them know that the show it's their show. A great part about dueling pianos is it's really not about the performers on the stage. We're just we're like the ringleaders of the circus. The audience is the actual star of the show, and the show can only be as good as the reaction we get out of the people who are with us that night.
So one of the things I couldn't help notice, there was a huge along with the energy in the crowd. Um, it's almost like you have to be an improv performer, because you don't have like a set list like a regular concert. You're not just going up there and everything all pre-planned. You're having to kind of adapt and go with the flow and maybe play songs you weren't expecting to. How difficult is that?
Improv is a great example to give because we try to take a lot of the improv rules and apply them to how we do the show. Yes, and is a big part of it. When you're talking with your partner, it's like whenever they ask you something, you want to keep the conversation going. And the number one rule in dueling pianos, and like whenever we have new people learning how to do that style, is we say the number one rule is you make your partner look good. And when your partner does that back to you, you've created the balance of a great format for a show. So it's like tee it up so your partner can knock the joke out or, set them up for a great solo, do whatever you can. If you're setting the night for your partner to look good and they do the same thing back to you, you're just going to have great camaraderie on the stage, and that translates over to the crowd for sure. It's a much different experience than going to watch a band put on a concert.
That must add another layer of complexity to what you do.
Mm-hmm. And improv it is a big part of it. We don't go up with preconceived set lists. We might know what the first we might know what we want to open with, or there might be a new tune that just dropped that we want to work in. But everything is gonna let's see what the requests come up on the piano, and we don't know what it's going to be every night. But a funny thing is, I'd say 75 to 80% of the songs end up being the same no matter where we go because people don't have much imagination in that. I know Piano Man and Sweet Caroline and Don't Stop Believing are coming up. It's like it's just a matter of when. But that just like that little video clip you saw when you Some you mentioned that we didn't have the liquor license. I was actually playing a theater in just outside of Boston in Somerville, Massachusetts, and we were doing their soft opening. And they were ready to go, and the inspector had not come that day yet, and so they could not serve any alcohol that night. So it was we had about 150 people in there, and they were coming for a show, and they had Coke and popcorn. That was what they could do. So we had no, so we had to do an opening night for a theater with no liquor license.
So when you're working a venue, I mean, I can't imagine it happens all that often, but um, the difference between the energy and like a crowd that you're working a bar that has, that's serving alcohol versus, um, something else that you're doing that doesn't. What's the difference in the energy of the crowd?
Um, it can be different, but there's we do so many different styles of shows and at different times of day and day of the week. I mean, you do corporate events that could be on Wednesday afternoons or like, and so there's obviously no liquor involved in that. It's just a matter of how much fun do the people there want to have. Do they need that little, shot of liquid courage to get them singing with their friends, or are they just naturally ready to go party themselves? And so again, it really comes down to how the audience reacts to each performance because again, they are the star of the show.
So, Greg, for those people who have never been to a dueling piano show, how do they get their requests played?
The bigger the tip, the faster it gets played. We do have we'll start getting the slips coming up on the pianos at the beginning of the night, and we'll hold up a blank one and we'll say this is what we call a suggestion, and hold up one that's got a bill attached to it and we'll say this is what we call a request. And then if it's got a bigger bill, we'll say this is a priority request or a line cut.
So, looking at it from the other perspective, say somebody's requested like a song that was your breakup song or one that you just really can't stand listening to. Can you like make a request to stop playing with a tip?
Absolutely. Say, hey, someone gave us $20 for this song. If you absolutely hate it, 21 will get us to stop it and go to something else. Those bidding wars can be fun sometimes.
So, as we're talking about requests and as the audience brings up requests and writes down on the sheets that you have for them, one of my favorite things is I started, connecting with you on Facebook. You'd put up whenever they came out, your bad request photos, and they were basically photos that you took of requests that people had put up there that just made no sense. You know, destroyed the song title. You name it. It just and it's you have a whole like album on your Facebook page of bad requests. So one of the things I wanted to do tonight was just kind of pull some of the funnier ones up that I found
Hmm.
and put them up for people to see, so they know it's actually what actually happens when you do take requests. Um, so the first one I wanted to put up it is the hit follow up song to U2's Sunday Bloody Sunday. It was U2 Bloody Monday is the request.
Ah, sometimes I'll get these songs and I'll get their mistakes, and I'll just change the song to accommodate what they think the title is. So, do your best Bono impression. Maybe Monday, Bloody
Not much you
Monday.
can do with that. Um, Next, the hit song by the Beatles. I don't know if it
Hmm.
was released, but the Beatles song "Hey Dude." Not not much you can say to that either.
Hmm.
Uh, so next we've got a request from New Jersey's own Bruce Springsteen. He played that classic hit that he's known for, "Summer of '69."
Yes. And unfortunately, people have sent that more than once. There's a lot of people that think Bruce wrote and recorded that song. It's mind blowing.
Okay, next on Song Parade. Um, yeah, looks like we've got the Counting Crows, the song that goes sha la la la
Yeah,
la.
yeah, that would be Mr. Jones.
Don't know if you know that one. Okay, next up on the Bad Request countdown here, we've got another New Jersey band with their hit
Hmm.
Don't Stop Believin'.
Yeah, sadly, that mistake's been made more than once as well.
Okay, and the final Bad Request of the evening, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Interesting spelling there.
Hmm. Rapcity. Rhapsody.
I'll tell you what, we could probably just do a show on bad requests because I'm sure, I've seen them along the years, but also, went through them again for the show, and it's just amazing.
There's times I'll see one of them come up out on the show. I'll immediately take a picture so I don't lose the slip, and I'll just upload them. Like every month or so, I'll add a couple new ones to it. It's like I wait till I get 3 or 4 good ones before I update. But usually once a month I'll be adding.
Greg, how long have you been doing this?
Oh, a little over 20 years. I'm probably 22 years now.
What keeps you wanting to do this?
Um, Honestly, I still really enjoy it. I've always felt if you're not enjoying yourself on the stage, it's time to think of doing something else. But if you can still connect with the audience, and the main goal is make them feel like they're in on the joke, they're hanging out in your living room, you're having a party, you all become friends, and that's the atmosphere you want to create. But if it really becomes work and you dread doing it, then it's time to consider something else. Fortunately for me, I've been lucky enough to be able to keep doing this, and we got through what we all went through for the past couple of years, and now we're coming out busier than ever, and it's a fun way to do it. But when I'm smiling on the stage, it's genuine. I really enjoy doing it, and I've had my swings of doing some day jobs, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do. I'm not there.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap things up for us. We are out of time. I would like to thank Greg for being on with us tonight. I had a lot of fun talking to him. Greg will be performing at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino this Friday and Saturday, September 16th and 17th. He's doing a dueling piano show from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Um, and then he will be back September 30th and October 1st, again at the Hard Rock Casino Hotel, and that is in Atlantic City, if I didn't mention it before. He will be, again, doing dueling piano shows on Friday and Saturday from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. I would like to thank Greg again. You can follow Greg on Facebook. Just search for his name, Greg Asadoorian. You can follow Greg on Instagram, Piano Man Greg on Instagram. And then for more information on booking Greg, just check him out on his social media, DM him, and he can give you all the details on how to book his show. Uh, Greg, it was wonderful to have the opportunity to reconnect with you again. Hope we can talk soon. We will.
Great seeing you, my
Would
friend.
like to thank you all for watching the show. Um, you are watching Half Pint Video Productions, and my name is Dan Hollingsworth. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe over there. Um, thank you for watching. Thanks again to Greg Asadoorian. Had a blast and look forward to seeing him this weekend. And have a great night and even better tomorrow.